Hey there, fellow bookworms and sewing superstars. I'm Melissa from the Sewing Hub, and I am so excited for this month's sewing challenge because books, movies, TV shows, they all inspire so much creativity, so I cannot wait to see what everyone comes up with and what all you make this month, because it is just, there's a huge array of things that you can do. But with that in mind, I was like, there is a lot of things that you can do, and sometimes having a lot of choices makes it really hard to pick one. So I thought I'm going to get on here and share my favorite basic projects that you can then customize towards any book. And then I'm also going to throw in some of like the projects that I plan on doing for books that are my family favorites in there as well. So I'm really excited to have you join me today. And without further ado, get ready to flip through the pages of your favorite book and sew something fun with me today. Okay, so my number one project for sewing something inspired by a book is tote bags. These are great because having a tote bag to carry around your library books or to carry around your favorite books when you're going around is always a nice thing to have, but also because you can really customize these. I look at tote bags as kind of a blank canvas, which some of them are made out of canvas, so makes sense, but just a blank canvas that you can then put anything on. I mean, you can use character-inspired fabric, you can applique something character-inspired on it, you could paint something on there. I really love tote bags for making something inspired by a book because there's just so many different options you can do to really bring it back to that book and how, you know, the inspiration that it made you feel in creating that project. So if you are looking for a quick, easy, useful project, my number one go-to for when creating something inspired by a book is definitely tote bags. Okay, so my second favorite project to go to when sewing something inspired by a book is plushies. I know that they can tend to be a little bit intimidating, but there are some really great character plushies from, I'm going to say this wrong, and if I do, I apologize. C'est Desune. I'll link it in the description. But she has some amazing character plushie patterns, and a lot of them are free. And she has these super cute Harry Potter house ones that I'm going to sew for sure. But with those, her patterns have such fantastic instructions that it seriously feels like you've got a personal sewist teacher there with you while you're sewing them. So if you've never sewn plushies before, definitely check out her site and check out what she has, because she does have some really great character inspired ones, but then she also has a lot that you can kind of customize towards the character you want. Or even just look on Pinterest. Plushies are awesome because you can really recreate the character from the book and bring it to life, especially for little ones. I think it really helps connect the words on the page to something physical and makes the book a little bit more special. So my second project to go to when sewing something inspired by a book is definitely plushies. All right, y'all, this third project is kind of an intense one, so definitely not if you're looking for something quick and simple, but I really have a special place in my heart for quilts. When I first started sewing, I did start with quilting, so anytime I make a quilt, because of the time I know that goes into it and the thought process that goes into it, they all have a little bit extra special meaning to me, so I really wanted to share this one because there are just so many amazing ways you can turn a quilt into something inspired by a book. Whether you create, this elaborate scene with fabric from the book, or, each quilt square can represent a part of the story that happened. There's really so many different things you could do. You could just quilt a character or applique a character on a quilt, but there's nothing like reading a book just absolutely engrossed and wrapped up in a quilt inspired by that book. Like, it just elevates the story even further because you're like, I am actually in the book while I'm reading it. But they do take a lot of time, but they just are there's just so much you could do with them. So if you are like have an idea and you have a picture in your head, but you're like, I don't know how to do this. Look on Pinterest, search Etsy. There's plenty of patterns out there inspired by books that are just amazing. And I love them. And yeah, there's something about taking your time in making a quilt. I think it just shows how much you truly love that book as well. So, and it doesn't have to be a big quilt either, right? You could make a little, what's the caterpillar book? Why am I drawing a blank on this? Hungry Caterpillar. You know, a little Hungry Caterpillar crib quilt or something for a little guy or a little girl or a little person. But there's something really great about just nostalgic about a quilt made from a book. So my third project is a quilt, but definitely not one if you are short on time. Okay, so my fourth favorite project for creating something inspired by books are bookmarks. Of course, everyone needs a bookmark while they're reading, unless you're like me and read everything on a tablet these days. But I love making my kids bookmarks that are something special for them, that kind of represent some of the things that they really love. So if you're looking for a quick, easy, elastic bookmark, I have a video for that. But on top of that too, like, you can seriously customize bookmarks, whether you're using fabric. You can find a lot of cotton fabric, like quilting cotton fabric, that is inspired by books and literature. So whether you're using, you know, fabric that's inspired by the book, or appliquing a little thing on there, or just using colors from the book, like, you know, I see if you used my bookmark video, you could do like the house colors for a Harry Potter house, or there's just so many different ideas. You know, you could do the colors for the Hungry Caterpillar. I keep using those two books. I think they're just in my head because we're in the process of reading them. But there's just so many different things you could do with bookmarks, and you need them to read a book, right? So how perfect is that, to have a bookmark that you can then put in a book for the same thing that you're reading? So fourth project is bookmarks, and this is really great too. So number 3 was a long project, but number 4 is like a quick one. So I kind of wanted to intermix some of those longer, more intense projects with something quicker and easier. So number 4, definitely bookmarks. Okay, so project number 5 can be intense or it can be super easy depending on how elaborate you want to go. But my number 5 go-to project is pillows. And this doesn't have to be like a full pillow. It could just be a pillowcase too. Bonus, if it's a pillow with like a pocket for books, those are really awesome too. But I recently, in my journeys on Pinterest, found this super cute Lord of the Rings ring pillow that I cannot get out of my head. And I'm kind of obsessed with it and trying to come up with ways that I can recreate this in case I can't find the pattern for it. But pillows are a really fun, again, could be easy, could be a little bit more intense, but a really fun project to just bring that book again into the real world and to life. You know, you can create a simple pillow and applique or put some heat transfer, like a quote or something from the book, or, you know, have a character from the book. You could create the pillow and make the pillow like the character's face, or put like, again, the colors from the book, anything like that. I really love how customizable pillows and pillowcases can be to really bring that story to life. Go-to project number 6 is character accessories. I think we've all read books where there's one defining thing for that character, right? Little Red Riding Hood and her Red Riding Hood. Sherlock Holmes and his hat. You know, I'm reading Throne of Glass right now, and it's the assassin capes with the hoods. You know, all these things. I feel like a lot of stories have these very specific accessories that the main character or some of your favorite characters might have. And I think that those are really fun too, because they can be a little bit more subtle, or they could be really in your face, like this is what it is, you know? But so I love just these character accessories and bringing those to life. I recently found the twig and tail evergreen, which would make the perfect Sherlock Holmes hat. Y'all, this is the cutest thing I've ever seen, and if your kids want to pretend to be detectives, this is definitely a go-to. And also, I have one kid that is absolutely in love with dragons, especially the Wings of Fire. Fourth wing is not. Wings of Fire. He loves Wings of Fire. And I recently found Mother Grimm has these dragon wing accessories that I think are just going to be an awesome project for him. So definitely, again, look on Pinterest, search on, the internet for just like your favorite character, an accessory from your favorite character, or, even like if your character really likes, I don't know, doilies or something, you could take some lace and make some doilies, or a table runner, anything that's like occurs frequently in the book, or that you see a lot from your character or a lot in the descriptions. That's important. I think would be really awesome to just kind of recreate and bring again to life. So definitely character accessories, number 6. So project number 7 is zipper pouches. Now, I like zipper pouches because they can be used for so many different things, right? You can use them for pencils, you can use them for storing bookmarks, you can use them for really anything. And another thing that I really like about them is, again, kind of like the tote bags, they are a blank canvas. I recently found these Harry Potter house-inspired ones that I am really obsessed with and going to be making for all my kids. I'm going to give them each a different house, but shh, don't tell them because I'm not sure if anybody wants Slytherin, but someone's going to get it. Not anything bad, but anyways, I'm going down a different tangent. But zipper pouches are great, like I said, because you can kind of customize them. What I really like is because they're so small, you can take scrap fabrics then and kind of, figure out different ways to lay your scrap fabrics. You can do, again, like put an HTV on there or applique. You can put some like words on there. I think zipper pouches are really great too if you are new to making bags or are worried, not worried about zippers, because not worried about zippers. If you are concerned, zippers intimidate you. There we go. Because they are small and you can really start to see zippers aren't that scary. For me personally, buttons and buttonholes are way worse. If I could choose between buttons and zippers, it would definitely be a zipper. And I think it's because I really did start with these smaller, not quite as intense projects, and zipper pouches are perfect for that. So my number 7 go-to project for book-inspired creations are zipper pouches. Okay, so project number 8 is more for the younger people in your family or in your circle, but quiet books. I really love them because for little kids, it's nice to bring the story to life in a way that they can interact with, and I think quiet books are really great for that. And what I love even more is sometimes you can take some of your favorite books and turn them into quiet books that are interactive for kids, and then they kind of grow up with those books, so when they're old enough to then read them, they have a sense of what they are already. Recently, while going through Pinterest, I found a Lord of the Rings quiet book that I am just drooling over, but I can't find the pattern for it. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to come up with this on my own. But that's the other thing that I really love about quiet books is that a lot of them are made with felt because it's a little bit more sturdy and it sticks to itself. So it's not quite as of an expensive project, but it's also nice because you can kind of really customize these to your favorite parts of the book, and you can just play around with them, even just making something simple that, like, oh, put this button on, or zip this, zip up this, or, oh no, Pete the cat stepped in brown mud. What color is his shoe now? Things like that, just to bring the story to life for those little kids. I really, really love quiet books for that. So yeah, I found the Lord of the Rings one, and then I also found a Harry Potter one that I'm obsessed with. So I'm definitely going to be making quite a few quiet books this month for my little guy, because I love them. They keep his hands busy. They really can help immerse him in the story and just build these little tiny skills for these tiny hands. So project number 8 is definitely quiet books. All right, so if you've been around me for a while, you know how much I love appliquing. I actually have a video for how to turn any fabric into applique, but it's also great because you can take any picture and really create it with fabric. So one example I have is our favorite book for all of our kids is Winnie the Pooh. We love reading it. It's got such sweet, cute things in there. So when I recently found some super cute Winnie the Pooh fabric from Zombie Bunny, I got this little project panel and it had Pooh here, and I cut him out with some of the transfer paper there to put on. I'm going to be putting him on a cute little, I think a pair of shorts. But you know, just a way to bring that character in. And then of course, you can't have Pooh without honey, right? So, get the whole piece here. So it's not finished yet, and there's some details to add, but then he's got his little honey pot. I mean, I really love appliques, seriously, because you can just turn anything into a picture with fabric using applique, and just all the options there. You know, whether you want to do a character or, you know, maybe an outline of a costume that somebody wears or a flower or something special from the book. Applique is definitely a great project to really bring your book into your creation. So project number 9 is applique. All right, last but definitely not least, project number 10 is inspired fabric. So making something with inspired fabric, it's just so nice because you can make something completely simple and not even have to worry about it, and you still can convey the characters, right? So here's some of that Winnie the Pooh fabric from Zombie Bunny that I'm going to be making into, I think, a little top for my guy. But, you know, there's so many different inspired fabrics out there, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a special character. One of my guys loves these Julia Donaldson books, and the Tiddler here is about a storytelling fish, and we read this quite often at night. And when I was scrolling around on Fräulein S, I found this fabric. Now, this fabric isn't Tiddler related, but it just inspired, you know, I look at it and I think of the story. So you don't necessarily have to get character fabric or fabric that's exactly about for that book or that character or that series. You can just get fabric that makes you feel, that reminds you of it. So I really like getting fabric that just really represents the book, the story, how it makes me feel, but I also love getting the character stuff because it just brings it to life. So I think when you're looking for fabric, don't necessarily think, oh, I want to sew something for Hungry Caterpillar, so I need to find Hungry Caterpillar fabric. You can say, you know, I really want to sew something for Hungry Caterpillar, so look for fabric with food on it, right? The Hungry Caterpillar loves food. You can get fabric with food on it and then applique the Hungry Caterpillar on it, and there you have a Hungry Caterpillar inspired shirt or tote bag or something. You know, I think it's just important not to get caught up on if it's exactly for that book. I think really when you're looking for fabrics to make your creations, look for something that just reminds you of it, or just, you know, makes you feel happy the way the book does, or just bring it back to the book somehow. It doesn't have to be this fabric, this book. You know, it can be some fish fabric that reminds you of the fish book. So definitely when you're making your projects, if you don't want to do all these other things and you just want something super easy, look for something fabric inspired that inspires you for the book. All right, so there are my top 10 go-to projects for creating something inspired by a book. I tried to make them more broad instead of narrowed down so that you could really customize these for any book that you want to use, but I really hope that these ideas help you create something special for your June sewing challenge, and thank you so much for hanging out with me today and letting me kind of bounce my ideas off of you, and I hope that you got some as well. If you enjoyed this video and want to keep seeing some more of our inspiration throughout the month, make sure you subscribe and definitely check out our Pinterest page as well. I will link that in the description, and come on over to our group. We love seeing your creations, so definitely come join us in the Sewing Hub Facebook group. Join our challenge, share your makes. We are such a fun group and we just love to inspire and cheer everybody on for all their makes. So definitely come hang out with us there as well. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you again later. Bye!